Let's talk about it.
Ressie got in the picture. Guardini was in the picture. So
let's talk about Ressie, the Ressie of it all.
Okay. When I got the word of I'm gonna start from the beginning.
Okay. Yeah.
Start from the beginning.
Okay.
So do you remember you hit me up?
Something like that.
You hit me up and
on Instagram.
On Instagram, you were asking me about the show. And what I told you, I said you would be a perfect fit for the show. I listened to your music and it was amazing. I said you would be a good addition to the show. That was our first talk. This was way before we even knew cousins.
Right.
So that was our first interaction.
Okay.
So then
I remember this because I remember we were talking to DMs.
Yeah.
For the most part. Right.
So
I remember this.
After that, I started to get word that that you and Dewon may have had something in the past.
From who? Who told you?
Guardini told. That's what I'm saying. Guardini said this, and then it went towards Ressie. It went towards the Ressie G, and Ressie G wanted to pursue it. This is why I felt like these bitches were sitting up there trying. Come back over here. With more teeth.
Okay.
And all I can remember from our talk, what you said, listen, me and Dewon, we did have a conversation. Dewon said to you that he is in love with me and this and that. And what did you say? You need to go and be with him. Or if that's what you want, go do it. Right? That's what you told me. And I said, okay, thank you so much. Because
okay, hold on. Let's walk to the people step by step, slow. Because we did. You remind me that we did have a conversation.
We did.
So okay, let's go back. Bitch, you have okay.
Go back.
So we walk into season 3.
I didn't even know you was a cast member at first.
Bitch, I probably didn't know I was a cast member. Depending on what day it was, I probably didn't even know. Okay, so you and I talking to DMs. We talk about the show, and I think we started following each other. We were like chat. We would just chat like here and there. You get word that potentially Oliver and your boyfriend Dewon may have had a thing.
Right.
Okay, say it again for me. Who was the first person you heard that from, and how did it go down?
Well, I didn't hear from Guardini. I didn't hear from Guardini. I heard it from. I can't remember who I heard it from, but that's what it was. But it stirred up with Guardini and Ressie G. I guess Guardini, because Guardini and you and Guardini was friends.
Correct.
Right? And then they said that you came to Guardini house, because this was when Dewon was living with Guardini. Dewon wasn't living with me yet.
I never knew that until just right now.
Yeah, Guardini and Dewon was living with each other. And
I never knew that.
I was at one point living with Guardini too. That's why I was just like, girl, like, bitch, it's nothing but love over here. You get what I'm saying?
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah. That's what I don't mind talking about it all. It was at one point when me and Dewon really got serious and things like that, just to, save some money and things like that. I went to live with Dewon, and Dewon was still with Guardini and things like that. That's how me and Guardini got really close and things like that. So that's why I was like, here we are, season 3, where you're stirring up some type of drama or trying to speculate what Oliver and Dewon had did and things like that. And that's why I was kind of lost. That's why for me, I felt like it was a plan from the beginning, because we had just spoken to each other. And I said, bitch, you're talented. You got bars. I think you would be a good fit for the show. Come on, audition. And then I guess you did audition or what have you. And then after that, that's when all of this started to come out. But the two main people who wanted to push that storyline was Guardini and Ressie G.
Okay, and you tell me, how do you know that they were trying to push that? How did you know Guardini was trying to push it first?
Well, for one, I know how Guardini was trying to push it because Lady Monet.
Shout out, how Lady Monet doing?
She doing good.
Shout out to Lady Monet.
That's my baby.
Okay.
Lady Monet.
Lady Monet is another YouTube personality. She's on G Status Check out Lady Monet. She's very funny. She's read me down a couple times. I think she's hilarious.
Monet. I guess Monet either had a conversation with Guardini or Ressie G, and she was giving me all the tea. This is why I respect real bitches and things like that. So when she said that, I was like, okay. I was like, and then I'm starting to like put pieces and pieces together. I'm just like, well, damn. I feel like this was some type of plan setup that they wanted to do, because I just spoke to Oliver about like 3 to 4, weeks ago. And I'm like, bitch, come out for the show. You'll be a good accent. And here we are where y'all allowing, I didn't want to call you at that time.
No, you can say it.
At that time you was a bitch. I said, and then you was a hoe. I said, y'all trying to allow these new hoes to come in and disrespect me. And things like that. So that's where I was coming from. That's why I did not want to sit down with you and stuff like that. And I left season 3 and just like, no, I'm not giving another bitch another storyline to come up on Devon and things like that, because I really knock these hoes out. I'll be going to jail and stuff like that. That's why when you shot that scene when Guardini got out of jail and you shot that scene with him and he was just like, oh, my best friend wasn't there and things like that, it kind of really rubbed me the wrong way. That's how I kind of knew that, yeah, it was a setup.
I definitely agree. Now that I've heard more, and we've talked about this, which we're gonna get into. We talked about this. Like, I really see the orchestration of things at hand. I was Guardini being messy. And this is what I think, right? I mean, and this is years later, so I'm really, we're
allowed to talk about it.
I really do think, this is what I think. I think Guardini was upset that she was taking his best friend away.
Exactly.
Which he said. He
said that.
I also think a little bit of Guardini's ego going into season 3 was he wanted to be that girl. Because I've heard him talk a lot about how he felt like this person looked like this and they not really doing this. I know how you feel. And I feel like in his brain, I'm going to come get Oliver, who do this. Link him with my best friend, put him on the show to terrorize you.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it feels like.
That's what it feels like. And Ressie G was right along with it. Ressie G loved it because they knew that, listen, reality TV is all about drama and stuff. That's what sells. We get that. But at the same time, it's about integrity, bitch. Don't sit up here and spark a match if you ain't gonna sit up there and finish. That's why before I decided to hurt any one of them girls, and this was one of you at that time.
No, I feel it.
I was just like, I'm gonna just back away. I'm gonna just leave.
Okay, so let's talk about you and I, right? So we have preliminary conversations. We found out we're on the show, right? So I'm trying to think, how can I start this? Okay, so I guess I'll pick up with me coming into the show, right?
Right.
So I had already at that time had told Guardini and Ressie G separately, because those was my girls at the time, about the situation with myself and Dewon, which was just conversations. We met up one time. That's all it was. Like, that's all it was.
And that's the same thing.
That's all it was. That's literally all it was.
It was just nothing but conversation.
Yeah, we only had conversations.
He said this. I said, that's what you want to go and be with. Go be with him.
Yeah. But I had told them, in girlfriend conversation, I told them about this, and then the conversation about me coming on Chasing Atlanta comes months after this.
Okay.
Because me and Dewon had conversations during the summer. The auditions for Chasing Atlanta, I don't think they come out until like late August, early September. And then I found out I was casted in October. And I remember talking to both of them, and I was like, I hope y'all know, like, I'm not trying to come on in this energy, because in my brain, and y'all got to think, don't nobody really know me like that.
Yeah.
This is an already pre-established show with people who are like the fan favorites. And in my eyes, he was one of the fan favorites. So I'm not about to come on my first season as a whore to the man of the fan favorite. So I never wanted to talk about it. I told production, I was like, I don't want to talk about that. It's really not that important. And I'm just the type of girl.
They kept pushing it. And
this is my mindset just in life, even still to this day. If me and your man had a situation, unless we was like in a relationship or something like that, if we kiss underneath the stairs, in my opinion, to me, bringing that up on a show it's just like, to me, that's intentionally trying to start something. Now, I'm just saying in the background, just out of respect, because I never wanted to come up and be like, oh, girl, you didn't tell me this. But saying that on the show to make it a point of discussion to me is pointless. Because it's like, it really don't matter what it was, what is it now? And they're over there. And I'm never thirsty for to have that type of attachment. So I remember saying, like, I don't want to talk about it. And I remember Ressie G calling me, and we talked about it. And he said, if something come up, tell the truth. And I already knew what he was talking about because him and I had already talked about it. And so moving into it, I had already felt like very early on that they was trying to start this situation between you and I. And I just remember during that scene, and you and I spoke, yeah, we had to speak before that. Because by the time I filmed that scene, all the changes, I think you had already left.
Yeah.
I remember going into it, I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to take this conversation head on because I never want nobody to feel like they got something on me and they can bring it back up at another time and try to spray me. You know, like, bitch, I'm going to say what the story is before any of y'all hoes get to say it. You know what I'm saying? We did talk. We talked about it. Let's talk about what we talked about it.
We did talk about it. And I asked you everything. You said, you said, Devon, nothing happened. We had a conversation. He was telling me about, the situation. And I said, because I was dating another person and I was going back and forth between Dewon and this person. I didn't know who I wanted and things like that. You told me all of that. And what you said, I told him to go ahead. If this is what you want to do and you love him, pursue it. Go for it. And that's what you told me.
What did your man tell you?
He told me the same thing.
And let me also ask you this. At the time that Dewon and Oliver were talking, were you and him together?
We were still like off and on. I was still trying to choose back and forth.
Right. Which to me, Dewon at the time was telling me he was single. So I don't know what was, okay, got you.
And another thing, I understood that part, because at that moment in time, I really was back and forth. Like, I had one nigga who I really did love, gave my all, who didn't want to be with me. And here's the one who was giving me something type of new. And for me to make this nigga jealous, I'm gonna start dating him. So it was a lot. It was a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot of real life shit. It was a lot. It was a lot of real life shit.
It was a real life shit, but that's what happened. And then that's why I say, like, I spoke with Oliver. Oliver told me Dewon testified and said the exact same thing. So it was no reason for this to even be talked about on season 3. But these hoes want to make a good season, want to make a good show, want to do all of this, and I just wasn't here for it.
I'm gonna jump ahead, but that's one of the most aggravating things that has been a part of my story my entire experience on the show.
Yeah.
Like, I never wanted to talk about it. Everybody and I feel like what I'm saying, I said back then. I didn't want to talk about it. The people involved did not want to talk about it. Like, this was communicated that nobody wanted to talk about it. And even though we are now talking about it, everybody who knows who was there knows that nothing happened. It's not like me and Dewon was in a whirlwind romance and we had sex or going on trips or was laid up or was taking pictures. Like, this was like a 2 to 3 week conversation. We hung out one time. We drank. We had, I think it was like some tequila shit. We was talking, hanging out. And then he went home. And then after that, him and I talked. Go be with that boy.
Right.
Why are we acting like this was like some...
That's what I'm saying. They the ones who made it seem like that.
I love y'all. But get down in the comments and they take this little nugget of information and paint this whole story of how Oliver coming on to take the bitch. I didn't want no smoke with no, especially the fan favorite. In what world has anybody walked into a show and taken down the fan favorite by going after them? And y'all know, and the people say I'm calculating, I'm a smart girl. Why would I come on the show wanting smoke with this hoe?
Why? Yeah.
This shit, I'm just getting here in my brain. Okay, so you did film a little bit for season 3.
I did.
Me and Guardini talked about this like a couple of weeks ago. Talk about whatever you want to talk about, the scenes that you did film and what him and I talked about as the party bus scene that nobody ever saw.
Oh yeah, the party bus scene. Oh shit, I'm trying to remember, child.
Before you talk about the party bus scene, had you filmed any other scenes for season 3?
I don't think I did.
Was that like your first scene?
That was my birthday. That was around my birthday time. I did a
Mm-hmm.
party bus for my birthday
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. Who all was invited? I had everybody on the party bus, bitch. Kane had came down for Dallas. Him and what's his name? Oh shit. What was season one? It was Kane of Dallas. Kane and
I know it's Kane, Reese,
Audrey.
Audrey,
Audrey.
Aubrey,
Aubrey. Oh, I'm
Aubrey,
so sorry, Aubrey. If y'all watching this, I'm so
Aubrey,
sorry that
Aubrey.
Aubrey. It was Kane. I had Kane, Aubrey,
Montel was there.
Montel was on the
Cameron
bus.
was there.
Cameron was on. Bitch, we had a good time on the bus, bitch. I don't know what happened, but bitch, we had a good time on that party bus. We had all this motherfucking liquor and no chaser. We did. We had all this liquor. Everybody bought a bottle on the bus, but no chaser. Mind you, we don't went to QT. We don't went to QT because people had to use the bathroom. Saying, "Girl, y'all go in there and get some chaser." Ain't nobody bring no chaser out, bitch. So everybody just drinking straight alcohol. So bitch, everybody, girl, that whole night was everything, bitch. But what happened? Dewon, I had went to Dewon from. We had ended up going to a restaurant. So the party bus picked us up. We drove around and we went to the restaurant where I had a big session and everything for everybody. The party bus did hold about 40 people. I had about 45 bitches on there, so it was a lot of us. We got to the restaurant. We had a good time and Dewon, I went to Dewon's phone. It was just, you know, something on there that wasn't supposed to be on there. And I flipped out. Cameras was rolling and things like that. So I was just like, I don't want to. With this situation and the party bus situation, I was just like, I don't want to. Excuse me. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna be done. I'm gonna be done.
What did that conversation look like of you walking away from the show? Who did you call? Who you spoke to?
I believe it was Dario and Kevon, one of them, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to do it no more. You guys can scratch everything. If y'all decide to show me on there, bitch, I will be suing and things like that. So they script everything, and that was it.
And then you go live.
And then I went live. That's because it was more so the situation that I heard with you.
What situation?
No, the Guardini is saying with you and stuff like that and Dewon. So I was just like on top. It was that and on top of what happened. Not let me put this out there. In our community, dudes are gonna be dudes. Niggas are gonna be niggas. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I am the most faithfulest motherfucker of them all. You get what I'm saying? So let me put that out there.
I love
because
that.
A lot of people was coming at Dewon and things like that because it was only stuff that Dewon was doing that it was coming to the forefront. I done had my share in cheating. I done had my share in messing around and do whatever. You get what I'm saying? So it is what it is. In our community, we cheat and it is what it is. Not saying it's right.
Right, but it happens.
But it happens.
Yeah.
So I don't want everybody that's watching think that Dewon is just this terrible person because he's not. He's loving. He's a Pisces. I love him to death. And we're still together going on 9 years in August, period. And it is what it is. And I'm just not going to give him away.
I know that's right, bitch.
I'm not, bitch. And it was a movie that bitch, you think, oh, why did I get married too? You think I'm gonna bring a bitch in here, let them get all of the training that I done did? No. Bitch, no. That's my man. I love him to death. Yeah. And I know he loved me. But it's life. We all go through some shit.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And if you decide to walk away, walk away. But if you want to continue to sit here and keep going, it is what it is. Now we are better than ever.
I love that.
We are better than ever.
So season 3 comes out. The fans are upset you're gone. Yeah. This story of this new person on the blog, Oliver, gets brought up. Excuse me, about him potentially being with your man or some shit like that. So okay, for me, and I'm gonna turn it back over to you. For me, when I first came on, I was so nervous about that because I'm like, I never wanted you to leave.
Yeah.
Because at least I felt like you and I had already had a conversation about it, and we had our energy. So I felt like I want him here so he can corroborate everything that I'm saying, as well as just from an optics standpoint. I don't want people feeling like because I'm here now that I had some part of him leaving or not being here, or I wanted him going or some shit like that. I just thought you leaving was going to make my job harder, which in a small niche aspect it is for people that just want to use that as, we don't like Oliver, which today you heard the truth,
I think with me, it wasn't because before my party buzz, we had already spoken.
Yes, we did.
And then they had already said that this when I started hearing that, Oliver had something to do with Dewon and this and them. So it was that. Then I think it was like 2 weeks because my party bus had already been planned. And then going through Dewon's phone and trying to understand if it wasn't you. Then when I went through the phone, it wasn't you, it was another person. So I felt like, mind you, we're still young,
Yeah, we young.
Nobody wants to be embarrassed on camera. Nobody wants to be humiliated on camera. And before it got to that point, I just decided to walk away. So it didn't have nothing to do with you. It was just me and my man's situation, what we had going on at that time.
Was there any point that you did not like me?
I didn't. I told you.
But at what point did you not like me, and what did I do for you to feel that way?
No, you didn't do any. See, the thing about it is that you didn't do. I don't say you did anything because we talked about it, and you told me to check my man and what your story it lined up with his story. I just did not like you because of what Guardini and Ressie Dree was trying to do, and I felt like when they shot that scene when Guardini got out of jail and how your commentary and how you wrote with it, I felt like it was all speculation because you had reached out to me about the show and things like that. And I told you, go for it. That's when I felt like it was all calculated.
It was all, and I'm in on it.
Yeah, that's why I did not fuck with you.
Oh my God. Yeah. You didn't come in on a plan to take you down.
That's why I promise you. That's why I said that I did not fuck with production. I felt like production, y'all said up there, y'all treat y'all most valuable person that the fans like for these new hoes to come up here and disrespect me and y'all not tell me. Did nobody on season 3 tell me I had to get the sources from a motherfucking blogger? That's
because the children was telling Lady Monet Lady Monet gonna tell everybody.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what it came from.
So, but once again, the people who set the plan up,
it backfired on them hoes. Look where they at now.
Wait, we'll just. Oh, okay, let me pull it back. Okay, so I understand that, and I do apologize if my energy was aggressive.
It was aggressive.
But I can understand why, because I knew at that point. Like, bitch, I'm just here to showcase my shit. Like, y'all know how I am on the show, bitch. I want the people to know what I can do and what I'm about. And then I'm going to give them a little bit of Mama Twixt because she going to give the personal side of me. She going to make me look human.
Right.
Bring my mama and y'all like her. But them only 3 shits I care about. I don't care nothing else about no other shit. And I just felt like very early on, I felt like I'm being forced to talk about something that I do not want to talk about. But also, I'm also in a great opportunity to prepare myself for. So I'm stuck in a place on how do I move forward while trying to manage this thing very early on in my whole experience, And so in that moment, I was like very frustrated. Not frustrated at y'all, but just frustrated at like I felt like it was being forced. It was being forced upon me to talk about it. And I'm like, I don't want to talk about this shit because
the same bitch that you was calling friends and things like that, they weren't in on it. And that was the only thing. But that was it. We ain't got to talk about it no more or dive in.
That's weird.
We're good.
We good.
We can hug on it.
Of course.
And we can hug on that.
I see so upset. People's like, oh, she want her man. I'm like, y'all, can y'all stop? Like,
they don't.
It's not even all of that.
It's a lot more to the story, baby. But I'm very happy that we were able to sit here and talk about that.